What's up, witches? It's me, Luna, and let's see. Violet, can you see his eyes right there? And Pyewacket, here to do an unboxing for you today. The windows are open for the first time in a long time. It's an absolutely beautiful day. So let's look at a deck. This is an oracle deck today. And it is Alfons Maria Mucha oracle cards. Now, this is like my number one favorite artist. I love Art Nouveau. I love Art Deco too. But Alfons Mucha, from the time I was in, I think it was junior high, I had two of his long prints. It was the Star of the Sun and the Star of the Moon or something like that, but just beautiful things. And they hung on my wall for decades until they literally fell apart because I never framed them or anything. And my daughter now loves his artwork as well. And this one surprised me. It popped up when I was looking for something else. So I'm excited to get into it. This is a Los Scarbeo deck. I like that all of LS's oracle decks are the same size box. That makes things so easy when you have a shit ton of decks on the same shelf. Created with the original artwork of Alfons Maria Mucha, one of the greatest and most famous artists of the Art Nouveau movement. The box is like linen. It feels nice. Black inside. Cards that have been deplasticked. And then here's the book. Now we know we're going to get a bunch of languages, actually 4. English, Italian, Spanish, and Portuguese. And this is copyright 2022. I'm so surprised that I never heard of it. Anyhow, art exists only to communicate a spiritual message. That is a quote from Mucha, who lived from 1860 to 1939. So yes, art exists to communicate a spiritual message. My favorite definition of the word mystery is something that can be learned or realized that can't be taught. You can't directly teach somebody. So that's what art is for, to ignite in people that view it or hear it or whatever the art is, ignite that spiritual connection to a particular thing. Anyhow, Alfons Maria Mucha was a Czechoslovakian graphic designer artist, best known for his posters and art done in the Art Nouveau style. I'm also Slovakian, like half, so that's a cool connection. Born in Moravia, Czech Republic, he started painting and drawing at an early age. Spurred on by family, merchants, and patrons, Mucha dabbled in various mediums from fine art to illustration and photography. I sure hope I pronounce his name right. I realize I don't really know. Later, when he moved to France, Mucha's breakout movement came in 1894 when Sarah Bernhardt asked him to design a poster for her play Gismonda, so she was a model for a lot of his work. Working from photos and sketches, Mucha crafted the now famous iconic designs recognized globally. His art characterized the ornamental designs and patterns of the Art Nouveau movement. Frames, asymmetrical lines incorporating natural plants and flowers, and graceful flowing strokes to accentuate bodily features became his trademark addition to the genre. The thing I love is the lyrical lines. Everything is moving and swirling, but then symmetry, very distinct symmetry. So you get that combination of something structured and something flowing. In the end, Mucha rejected much of his Art Nouveau work. Instead, he wanted the public to remember his historical and religious paintings, especially the Slav epic, which portrayed the history of the Slavic people. That I need to dive into. Mucha was a devout Catholic. He was also interested in mysticism, mainly the spiritualist movement and Masonic philosophy. Mucha was a seeker who pursued the profound truths beyond the material world. He coupled his studies in art and music with religious studies. 3 themes stood out for him: beauty, truth, and love. All of his artistic styles contain bits and pieces of these themes. He was fond of painting portraits in various cathedrals and churches. In 1899, he wrote and painted a book entitled Le Pate, which included watercolor paintings and his personal translation of the Lord's Prayer, so Le Pater. France printed only 510 copies of this book. The Art Nouveau format started as a reaction. I'm reading this whole thing because it's so short, and you need to know about this artist, I think. It started as a reaction against both the historical art and the cluttered designs of Victorian period artwork. It predates the Art Deco style of the 1920s. It can be characterized in an often simplistic design, yet elegant in its use of nature versus structure. Art Deco is more, very geometric. I also love it. Artists who painted in this style attempted to break free from art histories of the past. Art being something to reveal a greater mystery and as something to bring into everyday life helped shape the movement. Mucha helped the movement grow in prestige while he lived in France by painting murals, illustrating theater posters, and making art accessible to all by getting printed in various magazines. So yeah, we start, pop art coming into it. We went to the local head shop, Puff and Stuff, great little shop in Kent, and they have, the banks of posters. And my daughter found so many prints, so many different prints of Mucha, and went home with like $100 worth of stuff. And she's got them all framed and put on the wall. She's wonderful. Okay, we have the introduction to the Oracle. Mucha mixed his love for the spiritual into each painting he made. This combination was one of the reasons his artwork resonated with a broad and diverse audience. He made sure everyone could have access to his messages. As a result, themes of reason, wisdom, and love as the paths to peace featured heavily in his works. These themes appear predominantly in the 3 ages. So reason, wisdom, and love. All right. Each card in this deck relates to a feeling and contains information about the story within each card. The Oracle deck appears independently from Mucha's original intention for the artwork. Use your intuition and your life story to describe what each card means to you. That's lovely. Connect to the vibe of the cards with your soul. It's okay if your interpretation differs from what this guidebook suggests. Let your experience direct you. Okay. The meanings here are starting place, select a card from the pack of 36 cards. Take time to get to know the deck, cleanse the cards. Using them is developed to guide your daily life in 2 ways. You can select a single card or more. Thinking about affirmations and statements. So talking about journaling with the cards. Set a timer for 5 minutes and press start. When you have the image firmly planted in your mind, close your eyes. Bring a picture up. Oh, talking about doing a meditation to walk around in them. How interesting. And then we go straight to the cards. And we have this much for each card. So there's an affirmation at the beginning. That's wonderful. There's a title for the card. There's a description of the image. And then there's a description of each symbol. So it names the symbol lamb, purity of spirit and youthful outlook, child, future potential and curiosity, etc. And then we get, I just learned something yesterday, sorry. How we say etc., and the rest. ETC, you can use ETM, which is et merda, which means and shit. So et merda. And after the description of the last card, we go into Italian. So that's it. Simple. And frankly, sometimes, every horses for courses, right? Every approach to these divination tools is the right approach for somebody, right? And you can have many right approaches for you, from decks that go deeply into each image and really, take you somewhere, or decks that have like deep history, deep mythology that is all laid out with each of the cards, so you can plunge into an entire mythology. To ones like this where it's really leaving it open. And I appreciate that it's intentionally so, that they come out of the chute saying, this is an intuitive thing. This is, you rely on yourself. And I always appreciate that. Let's look at the cards. The first impression that you get from the very outset is that we have an extremely limited palette. We are in the blue, muted blues, and a very muted yellow that comes out as a kind of tan. I think it looks a little more yellow to me than it will to you. But yeah, seriously limited palette. And it's a palette that's very grayed out. So what that's doing right away is taking me to kind of a dreamy place. We're not dealing with hard reality. We're dealing with things where, they might lose definition. Here is the back, and we see those beautiful symmetrical images and the flowing lines. Okay. Wide border, and that is characteristic of his work with posters and things. There's always, sometimes it's wide at the top and bottom, sometimes the sides, sometimes both. But I have to say, no, what did I just finish saying? Looking at this image, it's taken me a while, and that's my eyes too, you guys, sorry. It's taking me a while to really go in enough to see what I'm looking at. It's very, the limited palette contributes to that. Now we have more of a beige coming in, but it's all that grayed out. I guess you would call that grayish is the new word for that color. Okay, so what we see here is a woman, and there's there's a baby here, and there's sheep. So, okay, let's look at that first card in the book. So again, we're not dealing with hard reality clearly delineated. We are dealing with the liminal. That's the word I'm looking for, the liminal realm. Okay. It's almost like this is the first level of these images coming up out of this grayed out background, it's making me think right brainy, so yay. And we notice that the cards, yes, they have a number, glory, hallelujah, but there's no words on the card at all. This can be a wonderful thing because words are left brain, words are logic, words are, I only believe it if I can see it, Right brain is, I can see it anytime I want to because I can imagine it, yeah? And it's also the place that connects to our psychic senses, that connects to the collective unconscious. So that's the well that we draw from when we're looking for information. So when you put words in, it kicks it back over into left brain, and you're thinking in language again, rather than in images. And in the information that bubbles up from the surface. Left brain wants to get their biological path. But there's also intuition, which is a left brain thing, and I don't have to walk the entire path to know what's at the end. Okay, here we go. I'm chatty today. Take Comfort is the title of this card. And look, I can see, people kind of comforting around each other. There's sleepy sheepies here. Two women, the affirmation is, I am at peace with myself. Two women curl around each other. One holds a child in her arms. A herd of sheep lay at their feet. Everyone is resting, comforting one another. It's there, you can see it. Symbols: lamb is purity of spirit and youthful outlook. Child, future potential and curiosity. Orange poppy flower, that's down here, delivering messages in dreams or getting good rest. And it's that simple. But you can see, all right, I promise I'm not going to go in this much of a lecture with each card, but just the nature of this deck is kind of really evoking this stuff. You can see how limited information verbally about the card can just really lead you into, okay, here's a vignette, here's a symbol, here's a symbol, here's a symbol. Those aren't the only things in this image that you could key in on, but it gets you started. And then you can really just let, like it was saying, the vibe take over. Okay. So I got to say, first look, I was thinking, ooh, these aren't going to be really, evocative, but oof, wrong. Okay. And I'm going to look them up because I want to know what the titles are just for the review. So this looks like maybe someone sizing someone up or someone teaching, saying, sit up straighter, something like that. This is called Be Proud. Okay, look, he's lifting the chin up, literally. Come on, chin up, be proud. This one is Have Reverence. I do like this, and I really like the affirmations. I'm proud of who I am. I am rooted in my spirituality. Yee, I like this. Okay. Here's Perform Magic. Embrace nature. It says Veritas there. Cleanse yourself. Nurture health. I mean, just the images, like I said, I could go off on each one, but you can see the idea of the rays shining down. Look at, there's like arrows coming down here. You could talk about grounding. Shining your light, but making sure you're grounded. And the growing plants, and there's a wand of stars across the middle. And this is nurture health. So someone is clearly at least green about the gills, if not outright deed. And she's bending over like she's doing hands-on healing. All right. I'm looking here. Flowers, grace and strength. White cross, refusal to renounce one's beliefs. Okay. Do you see a white cross? I don't see a white cross. What the hell? Oh, that's it right there. Geez. And a ram's head, new begins. I'm glad they mentioned that. Okay. Then we have explore guidance. Ooh. Sitting there, look at the information either coming in or going out. Seek solitude. I gotta say, my part of me is just sort of struggling with this really low contrast. That's a good point here. It's low contrast. We do have borders to define things, but the low contrast is, maybe it's just fucking with my eyes that are starting to get cataracts. But then the other part of me goes, it sends the left brain into confusion when I can't immediately name what I'm seeing. So I have to go a little bit deeper and really get into that visual side of my brain to understand what I'm looking at, which ultimately, again, is a good thing. Now, seek solitude was that one. Trust connections. Inspire dreams. Yeah, you can certainly see that. look at 3 different things to key in on here. A person that is kind of slumped over. I mean, I would look at that as an image of death with the soul rising, but it could also just be astral projection, the part of you that goes out there to play when your body is asleep. And up here could be the thing that's inspiring that dream, that lift. It could also be spirit awaiting on the other side. Wow. Okay. Protect yourself. And again, I'm like, okay, to differentiate the dude. Oh, I see. He's kind of leaning. He's leaning this way. Does he have his arm up here? It's kind of an awkward stance. I mean, he looks like he's a mile wide here, right? But you see where his feet are. Very strange. Okay, so this is protect yourself. This is trust guides. Ooh, look at this. I think Alfons smoked weed or something akin. I think Alfons definitely, or maybe a absinthe, something. But it's definitely reading for me. And then here's unexpected surprise. Oh, yes, there's a naked person in my garden with something on his back. What's that? Stargazer lilies, a red shirt. Oh, no, that's a shirt. Red shirt. Vigor and courage. Circular hair. Instinct and connection to spirit. Circular hair. And this one is celebrate laughter. Oh my gosh, look at that. Bubbles. The first time I ever had Reiki from anybody, I was reading at a psychic fair, and this woman was doing just 5-minute or 15-minute chair Reiki, and she was very light blonde hair. She had that light pink and bubbly. She had a champagne personality, and that's what her Reiki felt like. She put her hands over me, and it was like, wow, it felt like little bubbles coming down on me. So this, yes, celebrate laughter. Interesting that there's a blindfold. See if it mentions it. Red rose blossoms, falling stars, and clouds. Doesn't mention the blindfold. Bummer. You notice I'm not giving you all the meanings for things because I like to leave things for you to discover. Understand limitations. Oof. Okay, square in the chest with that one. I am confronting this on the daily. The limitations. Okay. Limitations of age specifically there. Delve deeper. Yeah. Very interesting looking character there. Is that hair? Yeah, it's got to be hair, but wow. What a strange looking dude. Here is widen perspective. Okay, what's going on out there? Oh, okay. It's beautiful, just so beautiful. Grasp uncertainty. Oh, look at the faces. I never realized that about Mucha's art, is his ability to convey emotion. Grasp uncertainty. And then love another. Hand is in a weird place. It's like covering the person's face, and I don't know. Strange. Anyway, accept loss. Wow. Discover peace. Share space. I just love the artwork so much. And as I grow more accustomed to this this palette and this low contrast, it gets easier and easier. I can kind of feel myself going into that world. Okay, ignite passion. Interesting background on that one. we suddenly see another range of color coming in, or another kind of predominating color. Remain vulnerable. I wish they said, well, I'll go back and look, because these do feel like they're all from the same body of work. Stay loyal. No, wait, whoop. There we go. Lost the thread there for a second. Stay loyal. She certainly looks steadfast. Receive wisdom. Yeah, he's going clockwise, but you know. Oh, I love it. I just love it. And look what to key in on there, the zodiac wheel. Vestments. Symbol on the robe. Protection from harm. That's the affirmation is thank you for the insight I receive. Oh, these are wonderful. Cultivate distinction. I don't know if you can see, I'm kind of rocking. This is kind of, one of my, with ADHD and autism, I can look like I'm sitting still, but at least my toes are going. Something's always going. But I'm getting really excited about this deck. And so it's got me kind of rocking here. Okay. Move determined. That's an interesting phrase. Move determined. It makes sense. Stand strong. Wow. Shoo. I'm going to read these. So we've got Hebrew up here. The cross is sacrifice and solidarity. Hebrew headband translates to the mercies of the Lord. Thank you so much. I hate it when I get decks where there's clearly something in a different language and they don't tell you what it is. I mean, it's one thing if you can find out easily, but okay. And then it's Psalm 89, verse 2, and then the river of blood, a bad omen, or let go of that which no longer serves you. Okay. Reward persistence. It's kind of hard to see. She looks very sad. A knight holds his sword by a gloved hand. The lady seated runs her fingers across the metal blade. She's nervous about the next lesson. Okay, so just persist. Release spirit. Wow, look at the coming out of the heart chakra. A giantess sits on a mountain. She looks down at the death and destruction at her feet. A wave of sorrow crosses her face. She cannot linger. Dead bodies, a change in life is coming, or time to slow down and focus on what's important. Breasts, a sign of motherhood or taking care of yourself. Bowed head, a sign of respect or releasing emotion for the situation. Wow. So they do go to the darker places here. Oh, this is beautiful. Become strong. Follow whimsy. Okay, so I guess what's whimsical is the hee 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 is what denotes that. Forgive mistakes. Look at this. And the last one is enjoy rest. So, wow, there was a lot to say about that. And I don't know if there's a lot more, so let's get on with the reading. But it does go to show you that if you give a deck a chance to show what it's got, and if you open your mind to not, I like this kind of deck. And okay, I've never been a genre person, like music. What genre of music do you like? I like good music. I don't care what genre it is. There are some that I'm partial to, more than others, but it's just whatever is good music I appreciate. Same with decks. If you meet the deck where it is, then you'll find out what it has to offer. So, setting personal taste aside, because likes and dislikes, what's that? Form of suffering. So if you can set your personal likes and dislikes aside, just see, oh, whoops, see what a deck has to offer you, then you'll get further than if you just go in with your personal taste and with what isn't part of what you usually like. Okay, let's give it a blessing. By air and fire, may you be purified and charged. I can't wait to give this to my daughter for her birthday. By water and earth, may you be blessed and made whole. And of course, she was here last week, and I had the decks sitting that I want to unbox, and she zipped right in on it. She's like, oh, I haven't seen that yet. And I said, no, you haven't. And I wouldn't let her look at it. May you be blessed and made whole, and by the sound of the bell, may the spirit awaken. Guides and guardians, allies and ancestors, thanks for being here. To Alfons, Maria, Mucha. Thank you, thank you, thank you, sir, for your wonderful vision and your beautiful artwork. Thank you for being dedicated to your muse, for doing the work so that you can live on. And we offer you fresh water. We offer you the fire of Azrael. And to my guides, of course, help me pull out a reading that will resonate with my viewers whenever they're watching this. And whenever you're watching this, I'm recording it on July 18th, 2024, the day after a live stream that, hoo-wee, the decks just showed up. It was, every deck was the Sacred Something deck. I went for a pattern, and it did not disappoint. These shuffle quite easily. As you can see, it's only 36 cards. It's rather stiff cardboardy. You see they're sort of bowed a little bit to begin with. But, you know, no major complaints there. It's easy to hold them in my hand. So, no complaints. All right. What do you have for us today? What do we need to know in order to continue to bring our best selves every day? And you know, sometimes bringing your best self means resting. Okay. I'm going to take that one and we'll go from there. Now, do I remember what these meant? No. So we'll look them up as usual. So, I can't remember. Well, that one was laughter. I remember the one about laughter. This one was about diving deep, I think. That one, move determined, was that one. Protecting yourself, I think. And wasn't that the last one about like calm or something like that? Okay. The first one is 25. Remain vulnerable. The affirmation is, I let go with grace and ease. A man kneels his lover's feet. He grabs the ribbon holding her dress together. She clasps her face and looks up. She waits for him to let go so she can move on. Roots. I guess that's here on the side. Or, I mean, this is roots, but it looks like, I thought that was his hair. Again, a confusing, not altogether clear image. indications of a well-established foundation and a fresh start. Belt containment, or the belt is containment and a pact between the wearer and their divine source. Upward gaze, seeking answers from above, or a request for help. Okay, I can see that as a request for help, but the vulnerability part doesn't quite play out in the description of, especially she waits for him to let go so she can move on. Maybe she's, describing how she's in a vulnerable position because he's about to pull her clothes away. But, she's his lover. At any rate, vulnerability, letting go with grace and ease. All right, that makes sense. So that the affirmation can also function as a key phrase here. I let go with grace and ease. So let go of what? Control. When you're vulnerable, you're not in control. By definition, really. So that's where we're at. Vulnerable, not in control, having to let go of things with ease and grace. Let go of what specifically? We always talk about letting go of what no longer serves us. Let go of what doesn't serve you, what doesn't serve you. But what does that look like in practical terms? Well, expectations is a big thing. So to sit down and just think about whenever you find yourself sort of railing against reality. This shouldn't be happening. Well, it is. Okay. So a lot of anxiety that you can generate around that has to do with what you expect to happen, whether you're catastrophizing or whether you're expecting a solution to something. It's still expectations, which can then it sets you up for a bit of a crisis if it's different than what things play out differently than what you imagine, depending, on what you were imagining. So letting go, release. And then over on the left, we have celebrate laughter. I appreciate life and live it to the fullest. An older woman sits amongst red flowers. She wears a ring of roses. Oh, they do mention it. She wears a ring of roses over her eyes. A young woman with flowing locks of golden hair tosses stars in the air. They rain down around the woman. The red rose blossoms, so they do mention devotion and beauty, falling stars, good luck and fortune, and clouds, release your burdens and stability. Release your burdens and stability. So you're releasing your stability there. All right, good luck and fortune, just devotion, beauty, celebrating laughter. I appreciate life, live it to the fullest. There's a lot there. There's like one phase in celebrate laughter, and then we have appreciation of life and living, and then we have devotion and luck and all that doesn't really have to do with laughter. So there are layers, more information than you would think at first glance here. And then we have 17, delve deeper. I learn from situations that make me feel challenged. The scholar sits at his podium, quill in hand. Papers scatter to the floor as his posture shifts from one leg to another. Okay. He is always going deeper in his studies, and there's no end to what he can learn. Symbols, feather pen, attention to details, and flights of fancy. Flights of fantasy. A drinking horn, drink from the sacred wells of the gods. Paper, reflection, and potential. Okay. So taking a challenge and responding to that challenge by digging in to learn something. So we have this vulnerable position here, and being in that position with grace, she's not like kicking him out of the way, she's just waiting. But on one side, we have laughter and devotion to the living of life in a way that generates joy. And then over here, we have the situation, using the situation to go deeper, to challenge yourself to learn something more. Okay, then we've got move determined. Nothing will stop me from achieving my desires. A soldier pushes his body off a concrete statue. His face holds the shape of someone who is not amused. The shape, not the expression, but the shape. Whoever crosses his path will not be getting off so readily. Wow. Symbols. Breastplate is righteousness of your beliefs or someone with a guarded heart. The sword is a weapon of spirit or discrimination between right and wrong. Where's the sword? Oh, this big ass sword. Cowering angel, fear of tyranny and hidden knowledge. Okay. So we take this place of vulnerability and we decide to move forward in a determined manner. We're receiving it with joy and devotion and a willingness to learn, but then we're determined to move forward and protect yourself. This is one of the shortest ones in it. I take care of my needs first. A ruler hides behind his shield and staff. He stares out with disdain for what is beyond the two skulls. Oh, that's what those are, skulls. Ooh, I see that. It's got like jaw wide open. Okay. He stares out with disdain for what is beyond the two skulls. His armor and clothing protect him. The shield is protection and avoidance. Skulls are struggle and impermanence. And the bird is flight and eternal spirit. Where's a bird? Where's a bird? Oh, on there. There's birds on his breastplate and his shield. Okay. So we become very determined and we take care of ourselves. We protect ourselves so that we can move forward in a determined way. This is a little bit all over the map, but and then share space was this one. I feel deeply connected to those around me. Two women gaze up at the sky above. They're seated on a veranda. The curtains are closed to give them peace. One woman wraps her arm lovingly around the other. Daisy flowers are... Where are the daisy flowers? Oh, up at the top. Innocence and humility. Embrace is reassurance and pleasure. Ostrich feathers, concentration and truth. I don't see ostrich feathers, but it doesn't really matter, does it? I don't know. Okay, at any rate. Share space, connecting to those around us. So we've got, these guys are like guardians here, determination and protection. And what are we protecting? Community. Things are very vulnerable right now. Globally, beyond a shadow of a doubt, things are vulnerable from the get-go, every level. And so that's where we are. We can remember joy, generate joy. We can go deeper and learn from it. But we also have to be very determined and clear on what it is we're protecting. What, protection, to protect the vulnerability there. Put up the determination, the protection, and keep our connections with each other through all of this. Okay. Interesting reading. Yeah, what do you guys think? I do love the deck. I do love it for all of the reasons that I went on and on and on and on about. And I'm curious to know what you think. As I said, the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm, wait, hold on. There, you can see, interesting to look at it on my monitor. Anyhow, um, I do go on. Anyhow, it's becoming clearer the more I look at it. I really do like it. It'll be good to learn, the basic keywords or the title of each card. And that's not going to be hard to do because there's only 36 of them. And the images really do illustrate the words. And the words describe the images. But there's more to dive into. Yeah, cool deck. Let me know down below what you think, and hit the like on your way out if you would, please. Subscribe if you feel so inclined for reviews and live streams and other stuff. And I will see you next time. Until then, this is Luna. Blessed be.